Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Sherry Moyse. I am an intuitive business alchemist working with the cosmos and intuitive guidance to support you with your marketing, content creation, that's the word, and just the overall flow and management of your time, energy in your business. One of the ways that we do that over in the Heart Powered Coaches and Healers Collective is by looking at and tuning into the sun cycles, the solar cycles, and the different astrological energies that are present that can give us some really amazing data. So we are getting ready to wind up Scorpio season. And I wanted to tap into one of the themes of Scorpio this week in terms of transforming how we look at our life and our business. Scorpio season can help us go in deep. And one of those processes I feel like that's really important at this time of the year as we're moving into winter and if you're in the northern hemisphere, is that pruning away of the things that aren't serving you, deciding what it is that you want to focus on. So this idea of, letting go. Where are we leaning in? Where do we need to let go? The truth is we can't be all things to all people, but sometimes deciding where to put your energy can be really conflicting. So I wanted to share with you some of the questions that I ask myself and my clients and my process for determining, where it is I choose to let go. Sometimes it's only for now, and where I want to lean in. So the key piece here to remember is your energy is a finite resource. If you spread yourself too thin, push yourself too hard, you risk burnout and overwhelm. So it's really important to honor that truth and make sure that you're using that resource in the best way, the way that's going to move the meter and the way that's going to support how you want to feel, be, and experience your business. So here are the questions I like to ask. One of my favorite questions is this a now thing? Really my favorite question to ask, is it a now thing? Is this something that is going to move you forward on your journey, move you towards the things that you want to create more of what you desire in your life and your business? So asking that question, is this a now thing? One of the things we can get into just even in the daily is getting, shiny object syndrome. Totally, that's a thing I suffer from on occasion or multiple occasions. So I literally have to come back to this question on a regular basis. Is this a now thing? Put it aside. And one way to overcome if you get stressed about or worried about, forgetting about, that's such a great idea, I really want to work on that. But if it's not a now thing, it's not the thing that's keeping you in the flow you desire to be in, keep a not for now journal or a document somewhere. I think that is one of the most powerful things we can do for this beautiful brain. Jot it down, write it down. Safekeeping. I have all my not for now stuff over here in this safe place. So question number 1, is it a now thing? Question number 2, which is all wrapped up in that, it's the other layer of it, is how does this align with how you want to feel, be, and experience your business and your life? Are you shooting yourself instead of stepping into things that feel good? There's so much out there in the messaging and the entrepreneurial world about what we should be doing. And it's really easy to get caught up in that. But at the end of the day, again, back to that energy as a finite resource, how do you want to be feeling? Is it lighting you up? Is it enjoyable? Now, there's always tasks that we need to do in order to, move things forward. But there's a lot of ways to do those tasks, to, and a lot of different options to make it flow in a way that feels the way you choose to feel. I want to feel joyful. I want to, ensure that what I'm doing has that spark of magic. So how do I create that? And if I'm doing something or leaning into something that's really not feeling that way, then can I shift it? Or maybe it's just not something I'm meant to be doing right now. So it's a great filter question to be asking yourself. Um, and then the other piece, this is kind of my one way to know to stay out of your head and into your heart, because this is not a great guidance system for making those decisions about what we lean into and what we let go of. We need to work with this one, because this one's just going to go off some data and history, and it's not necessarily going to keep you anchored in to the other pieces. And so that other one way to get around that is when you think about that process, that system, that offer, that whatever it is that you're thinking about, making a decision of where am I spending my time and energy? Are you physically leaning in? How do you feel when you think about it? What's the sensation in your body? It's a really great indicator to know. We can have that nervous excitement, and that's great. But if we have dread and fear, and those are not great indicators, then when you attempt to move the meter forward on whatever that project is, you're going to get it. It just makes the path so much more challenging when your heart's not on board. So those are my favorite questions to be asking. Is it a now thing? And how does it align? And then making sure you're not shoulding yourself. That's kind of that underlying, am I shoulding myself? And then it's really important, I think, to have a process of getting out of your head and into your heart. And there's a number of ways to do that. Simple practices that, like personally, I use HeartShift to drop in, to tap in. But the other piece, which I find has been really powerful for me and my clients, is working with the cycles and using the information that the cycles have to offer, that cosmic guidance from the sun, the moon, the personal planets, to help to get curious and creative and lean in to our intuition versus just trying to work from here. So if I'm debating between this or that, am I leaning in or letting go? I can look at what's going on with the cycles to see if there's something that can guide me there. I'll give you a great example. I used to do a summit around January is where I kind of started that process. And it was always so taxing. And honestly, the results weren't that great. And looking back now and putting it through this lens of cycles, I can see why it was so challenging for me. First, many times there's a Mercury retrograde, floating in there. And so tech issues, communication issues, things that just didn't flow with ease. But the second and bigger reason, honestly, is that season is just quieter. Winter is more inward energy, in the north. Well, no matter which hemisphere you're in, but January, winter, northern hemisphere, we're in that space of letting go of the old, preparing for the new, really pruning that garden, so to speak, down to, what's left so that we know what we want to plant in that soil. And also my themes just didn't really align well with the Capricorn energy. It was like not that there weren't pieces of it, but the overall themes of my summit weren't the themes that people were focused on at that time. And so the energy just wasn't there to give it the oomph that it needed to get the results that I needed. So instinctively at the time, I kept pushing the summit out. I kept delaying it for reasons. So over time, it got later and later and more into spring, which made so much more sense with what I was talking about. And as well as aligned really well with the Aries and Taurus cycles, as we're talking about, marketing your way, doing things, client attraction and things like that. So just a bit of an example of how you can use that cyclical, those guidance of the cycles to give you some data to help you know if you're leaning in and leaning out. And that'll help this head, um, this beautiful brain get creative. Now, as I look at the different cycles, the different energies, what does fit? What does align? What would I want to lean into if that's the lens? It really does help simplify things all the way around. So, just to recap, and we've got, what questions can you ask yourself and what process or filter can you put things through so that you can figure out where you want to put your energy. We can get really conflicted with doing all the things, but if you spread yourself too thin, you can really do damage to your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And that doesn't leave you what you need that well to serve others, which is, I know, what you desire to do. So my favorite questions: is it a now thing? Does it align with how you want to feel, be, and experience your business and your life? And underneath that, are you shooting yourself? And then looking at the cycles to get out of your head and into your heart, if you can look, when you look at what the cosmic guidance, the sun, the moon, the personal planet, that is a powerful way to get curious, creative, and lean into our intuition instead of working from your head. So there you go, my friends. I would love to know what you're leaning into, what you're letting go of, how you work through that process, and what most resonated here with what I shared, or what questions you might have. So I will be back with some more cosmic guidance and planning things. We're going to be moving into Sagittarius season, a little uplift in energy. Very excited about that. But in the meantime, remember, as always, all it takes is a little bit of heart power. I will see you soon.